Biblical Geography, Lecture 6. Someone washing their hands, yes. It's a messy little break time. We had craft time. So, Lecture 6, whenever you're done with the water, let me know, brother. Okay. The Egyptian experience. Having some fun. The travels of Jacob. So, this is a little bit before the Egyptian experience. But let's go over Jacob and Joseph. And these are good maps here. So Jacob's journeys down there and encompassed almost as much territory as those of his grandfather Abraham. Unlike Isaac, who was content to live in the Negev, Jacob roamed from northwest Mesopotamia to Egypt. Jacob and his brother Esau grew up together in the Negev, however you say that, in the vicinity of course, Gerar and Beer-sheba. The numerous wells of the area blunted the effects of the nearby desert and supplied water for his father's flocks. After tricking Esau out of his birthright and later deceiving Isaac to secure the blessing of the firstborn, Jacob then traveled north to his ancestral home, Padan Aram, to find himself a woman. So let's look at this. You see any of that on here? Jacob tricks brother down the bottom left. Beersheba.
Beersheba.
Okay. Beersheba. Okay. His route took him to Luz, where, in a dream, God reaffirmed his covenant made with Abraham and extended it to Jacob. In gratitude, Jacob renamed the place Bethel, house of God. You see that? They're right in the middle. And vowed to return with God's help. He then departed for his ancestral homeland beyond the Euphrates River. Where's the Euphrates? Well, it's near Mesopotamia, right? Yeah, so it's up there, up north. See how the arrows could keep going up, way up there?
Yeah.
It goes off the map, okay. If you look down below, you might see Euphrates. No, you don't see it there either. So you probably followed the same route previously taken by Abraham. Daddy Abraham. Or Granddaddy Abraham. Return to the land of promise. At Mahanaim, near the top of the Jabbok Valley, Jacob sent presents ahead to Esau and attempted appeasement before crossing the Jabbok Ford or the Jabbok Chevrolet, whichever type of vehicle it was. That night, Jacob wrestled with an angel, resulting in God changing his name to Israel. Subsequently, Jacob called that place Peniel?
Yes.
Penuel, face of God, in recognition of his personal encounter with Jehovah. Find that on the map. Jacob named Israel Penuel, Peniel. We have a ranch down the road a bit on the Columbia River called Peniel Ranch. Some of you have been there. Talked with the owners of what they call Peniel Ranch. Very nice. I've heard. I've never. All right, let's go on. So Jacob wrestled in a place called Penuel or Peniel. Find that on the map. Yes, there it is. There's this little... It's good to see it on the map. You kind of get an impression of where he was going. Now we go to Joseph and the entry into Egypt. The story of Joseph answers the question of how Israel's ancestors arrived in Egypt. Joseph's brothers sold him to a passing Ishmaelite caravan bound for Egypt. Such caravans between Palestine and Egypt must have been frequent. Then 13 years later, after suffering an unjust imprisonment, Joseph rose to a position of authority, second only to the king himself, Pharaoh. Joseph received an Egyptian name. He also married Asenath, daughter of one of the most powerful priests of On, later Heliopolis. When I hear that, priest of On, it's like the Wizard of Oz or something, some type of sci-fi thing. It's a priest of the city of On, or On, later known as Heliopolis. Find that on the map. It's in Egypt. Way down at the bottom. I just kept it in there. Bottom left. Joseph's father-in-law, Potiphera, was a priest at On. Two-letter names are weird. Okay, well, AI is one. Let's go on. No, let's not go on. Let's look at this map just a little bit more. Sorry. Okay, now let's go on. Famine in Egypt, though not as common as in Palestine, was not unknown. Joseph's brothers made 2 trips to Egypt, one without Benjamin and another with their youngest sibling. During the last journey, Joseph revealed his true identity to his brothers and urged that Jacob and his clan move to Egypt to escape the drought. Overjoyed at the news that his favorite son was alive, Jacob quickly complied with Joseph's invitation. So let's look at the map. Leaving the Negev, where's that at? Oh, Negev, where are you at?
It's right where the red arrow points to, right by there.
Well, it's pointing both ways. Okay, I see.
Yeah,
I see. Bottom or middle right.
Beersheba.
By Beersheba, yeah. All right, and going on, find my spot. So leaving the Negev at Beersheba, Jacob and his sons journeyed across the Sinai. This is, remember when Joseph said, come on? So this is where they're going. By the way to Shur. The Shur way. Entering Egypt near Succoth in the Wadi Timbulat. Yeah, whatever. Asiatic shepherds and merchants coming from southern Canaan and Transjordan used this route extensively. The family entered what's called the land of Goshen. See it there? On the Egypt side, left side, Goshen. The land of Goshen, a big area. Once anachronistically called the land of Ramses. How do you say that word? Wow, that's a long one. Land of Ramses, located in the northeastern delta of Egypt. So, the land of Goshen is where they came to dwell at in Egypt, also known as, or located in the northeastern delta of Egypt. Oh, you got to know that. Yeah. Some hard parts there. Some scholars have identified Goshen more specifically with the Wadi Timbulat, a fertile finger of the delta jutting out into the Sinai desert. In gratitude to Joseph, Pharaoh permitted the family to settle in a choice portion of the eastern delta that provided ample pastures for their herds. Recognizing their skill with livestock, the king sought out members of Jacob's family to oversee the royal herds that grazed in the region. Thus began a sojourn that would last 400 years in the land of Goshen, which is located in the northeastern delta of Egypt. Now we're up to where we're supposed to be. The Egyptian experience. So I can just pass those up. We'll take a break somewhere in here. The Egyptian experience. Yay! Look at this map. Wow. We're getting pretty good with these maps now. We kind of know these areas. I'm getting familiar where Mesopotamia is at, and Egypt, and Palestine, and Levant, and Negev. Well, the Israelites were keenly aware that their ancestors suffered a lengthy period of bondage in Egypt. 400 years passed between the time Jacob's sons entered Egypt until the great miracle of God's deliverance of his people recorded in Exodus. Yet the Bible says remarkably little about those 4 centuries, passing over them in a few brief verses. Only the cryptic reference, there arose a new king over Egypt who did not know Joseph, explains the change from the peaceful conditions of the last chapters of Genesis to the hardships described in the first chapters of Exodus. See that word? Hyksos. Hyksos are foreign rulers. The Hyksos. You gotta know that. Hyksos' control of the Delta came to an end between 1570 and some odd, when powerful native Egyptian kings arose from the city of Thebes. Once again, all of Egypt came under the control of a single dynasty. Some scholars identify the pharaoh who knew not Joseph with Ahmaz. And let's do one more section. We'll take a nibble break. Let's call it a nibble break. I like that. Then we'll just nibble. The decline of the Canaanite city-states. Intent on controlling the international highways that ran through Palestine, Egyptian kings reduced the petty kings of Canaan and Syria to the status of vassals and imposed heavy tribute on them. Egyptian bases were established in the Levant, at Gaza, Sumer, and Kumidi, with additional garrisons scattered in strategic sites like Bethshan. Let's look at the map. See any of those? There's Gaza. See Bethshan?
No. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Oh.
There it is, yeah, right in the middle.
Ship 'em.
Okay? So some of those are around here. So all these little dots are where the Canaanite city-states were, I believe. At times, the Canaanite kings resisted, typically with disastrous consequences. Many cities of Canaan show evidence of multiple destructions during the late Bronze Age. Look at the picture to the right here. By contrast, Thebes, biblical, it's the No Aman, see the map, was the capital of the world's most powerful empire during the late Bronze Age. Let's find that. No Aman.
So we're down at the bottom.
Oh yeah, bottom left, center left. Thebes, No Aman. So just no Thebes. It was the capital of the world's most powerful empire at one time. The kings of the 18th and 19th dynasties adorned the city with magnificent temples dedicated to Amun-Re, patron god of the New Kingdom. The temples of Luxor in Las Vegas and Karnak, Thebes, whose basic features go back to the New Kingdom, still inspire awe. So I guess this is the ruins that they kind of redid some. So if I came to a city like that, I'd go, spooky! Of course, if someone came to New York City from 1,000 years ago, or Las Vegas, yeah. Spooky! Let's take a break. Short one.